Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Elite Dangerous live stream. Now, for the reasons that I can't quite figure out, I have a feeling that the stream may not work all that well. What I'll do, I'll get the game up and running, and yeah, if those who are watching, assuming there is anyone, can let me know if they can see the screen, that would be extremely handy. Who have we got here? Oh, we have Aerodeon and we have Jim. We didn't hear the intro yes music. The music was playing, but yeah, it certainly wasn't yes that was... yeah, my music choice was not yes this time. Very different indeed. Right, yeah, it does indeed look like everything is actually up and running, which I am quite pleasantly surprised by. So, for this one, we're kind of following on a bit from the previous stream, and we're also getting ready for, well, what might be the next stream. It's certainly one that is coming hopefully fairly soon. So in the previous stream we were testing out a small AX fighter in the guise of the Kestrel, and to put it mildly, it was quite the success. Took it out against 4 Cyclops, and it destroyed all 4 of them, no problem. So for this one, I have built 2 medium fighters, AX fighters. Now, they should, in theory, have no problem going up against a Cyclops, but what I've really built these for is to perhaps go up against Basilisks. I would be amazed if I was going to actually be able to successfully take one out, because it's been a long old time since I since I tried taking on a Basilisk of any kind. As it is, of the 89 that I have registered on my Inara, 88 of them came about during the Thargoid War. The one exception was quite a few years ago. I don't know if Jim will remember this, but he was there, and we were in an AX conflict zone. I'm fucked if I can remember where it was, but there was a Basilisk there, and Jim's ship, I can't remember what it was. It would have been either an Anaconda or a Fed Corvette, and I'm pretty sure I was in an Anaconda. Anyway, Jim's ship was pretty beaten up, and he decided to fly off to the docking station, which wasn't that far away, but he did have to use Supercruise to get there. And in the time it took him to go out there and get back, the Basilisk was destroyed. So Jim missed out on, I can't remember how much they were paying out at the time. Nowadays, a Basilisk will pay out 24 million, so it's not too shabby. So, well, that's the long-term goal with these 2 medium ships. Now, I'll tell you straight off the bat, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to attempt to take out a Basilisk in this stream, because I'm far too rusty. So with the 2 ships I've got, I'm going to test each of them against probably 3 Cyclops. So this is the first. This is the Door Ladder 3. Yeah, replaced the Door Ladder 2, amazingly, which was a Alliance Challenger. Now, there are plenty of people out there who will say that the Alliance Challenger is a great ship to use as an AX ship. And I certainly can't disagree. There's no way I'm going to say that the Challenger is a crap AX ship, but I just can't get on with it. If I really can't get on with any of the Chieftain variants. Now I know Jim, who is watching, he is quite the fan of the Alliance Chieftain, and I suspect he would also be quite a fan of the Challenger if he ever used one. So for a player like Jim, the Challenger would be a great AX ship. But I am not a player like Jim. I just cannot get on with the things. So I really wanted to replace it. And when it came to choosing the replacement, I plumped for the Corsair, which I am currently in. So let's take a look at the loadout that I'm going with. Don't think there's going to be a huge number of surprises as far as the loadout goes. So I have a Class 3 beam laser, which has long range and thermal vent engineering. This thing is there purely to try and cool down the ship. Going up against Thargoid Interceptors, a beam laser is really not going to do much good. I mean, it might help against the shields, but the other weapons I've got are going to do far more damage to the shields than a Class 3 beam laser ever will. Then there's the main weapons. So I have two Class 2 pre-engineered Guardian shaft cannons, and I have two Class 2 pre-engineered Guardian plasma chargers. Not a big surprise. And then, because, like I said at the start, my intention, eventually anyway, will be to use this ship to go after Basilisks. Now, with Basilisks, one thing you absolutely cannot do is ignore the Thargon swarm. With the Cyclops, you can get away with it pretty much every time. I mean, in the last stream when I was in the Kestrel, I never paid the slightest attention to the Thargon swarm, and I destroyed all of the Cyclops no problem. So yeah, you can get away with it with going up against the Cyclops every time. Basilisk and up, you are not going to get away with it. You've got to try and deal with them. So remote release flak launcher is unfortunately pretty essential. I say unfortunately because I am hopeless with this weapon. I need way more practice with this thing than I've had, which is one of the reasons why I'm not going to bother going after a Basilisk in this stream. Right, on to utility mounts. No big surprises here. In fact, no minor surprises here either. So we have enhanced Xeno scanner. We have the shutdown field neutralizer. We have a caustic sink launcher, which has been engineered with heatsink ammo capacity. So I have 8 caustic sinks. And then I have the pre-engineered heatsink launcher. I had no idea I had one of these spare. So as soon as I saw I had it, I was like, okay, yeah, we'll slap that on there. So I have 5 heat sinks on this ship, which would be very useful indeed. On the core internals, again, no big surprises. Military grade composite armour, which is heavy duty grade 5 and deep plating. What a shock. Power plant is armoured to grade 5, and the monstered experimental. I very rarely use the monstered experimental. I'm not a big fan of it, but there was no getting away from it. If I was going to armour the power plant, which I really wanted to do, I had to use the monstered experimental on it. So there we are. As it is, the heat efficiency is still a hell of a lot better than if I'd had to do grade 5 overcharging. The armoured engineering does increase the amount of power available to you, but yeah, if you were to compare it to the overcharged engineering, it's somewhere between grades 1 and 2. It's really not a hell of a lot, but it's enough. It's what I needed, so, you know, yeah, quite happy to be able to armour this one. Thrusters, dirty drive tuning and drag drives, big shock. But the really useful thing about the Corsair, and this was the thing that really sort of like swung it for me as to why I chose to use this ship, because the thrusters on this ship are so enormous. I mean, you're using class 7 thrusters on a medium ship. It means that your top speed, whether it's regular speed or boost, I'm trying to find it on, here we are. So speed 473 is regular speed and 600 meters per second is the boost speed. It does not matter, that's a capped speed. It doesn't matter how much additional mass you put on through armour, you are still going to be travelling at 473 meters per second, 600 meters per second boost, and your manoeuvrability will be the same. So you can really pile on the armour on this thing and you are not going to lose the remotest amount of speed or manoeuvrability, which is extremely useful. So, yep, dirty drive tuning, drag drives. Frame shift drive, I mean, it's, yeah, increased range and mass manager. Big shock. Life support is reinforced. I can only reinforce the grade 4. I mean, I could get it up to grade 5, but it means going all the way out to Colonia. It's a long old way to go just to, you know, get an additional bit of reinforcement there. So, yeah, I'm not going to bother. Power distributor, it has to be weapon focused. Otherwise, I just can't fire for long enough. And I mean, I'm going to be overheating enough in this thing anyway. But, yeah, without a weapon, or rather, yeah, with a weapon focused, yeah, it's overheating enough. Without it, Jesus Christ, it's horrendous. Superconduit's experimental. The only problem with weapon focused is, you know, obviously, yeah, it's great when you're in combat, but the recharge rate of your engines in particular, if you're having a boost, is so slow. I mean, you look at the system's recharge rate, it's barely been touched, minus 1.2%, big fucking deal. But the engines, yeah, minus 11.6%, that's a big old drain on them. So, yeah, you know, what you gain with the weapons, you're kind of losing a bit with the engines. But, well... sensors are lightweight to grade 5. I don't know why I put it all the way up to grade 5, but I did. So yeah, anyway, that is the core internals. Optional internals, yeah, there are no shields on this thing. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5D hull reinforcements. All of them are heavy duty to grade 5 with deep plating. I do also have a class 5 Guardian module reinforcement up here as well. Then we go down to the grade 4, that's another module reinforcement. Grade 3 is an AFM unit, because the last thing I want is to have my weapons damaged beyond use, like what happened to me a couple of times in the Kestrel, and then having to bugger off from the battle. Yeah, I'm not going through that again. So I've shoved on an AFM unit. If I need it, then great, I've got it. If I don't need it, oh dear, I'll just replace it with either more armour or more module protection. You know, whatever happens, I'm all right. And then finally, yeah, a class 2 and class 1 D-rated module reinforcement packages, Guardian module reinforcement packages. And that is the loadout of this ship. So all that armour and everything means that I have armour health of 5037, which is pretty good. Armour hardness is 65, so it's 10 better than my Kestrel was. But this is, of course, a much larger ship than the Kestrel, and it does not have anything like the manoeuvrability of the Kestrel. In fact, the real Achilles heel of the Corsair is that its manoeuvrability is not fantastic. Let's take a look at the chat. Oh yes, I remember I was in my Corvette. Oh, okay, yeah, I had a feeling, yeah, when it was AX Combat, I know you always stuck with Corvettes and or Anacondas. I do plan on building a heavy AX ship. I mean, I have actually got a couple of them already, but in fact, I've got about 4 of them, but none of them have actually been sort of like, you know, they don't have the outfitting, they don't have the engineering that I really want. So the chances are I will get one of those, really sort of like soup it up to exactly how I want, and junk the other 3. Anyway, that's in the future. So let's launch this thing and see how we do. Now, I genuinely have no idea how this is going to go. I will admit I have done a couple of practice runs in this ship, and it did go quite well, because I was not recording then. And I just have this feeling that, yeah, while recording them, it's not going to be quite so straightforward. Let's see where we're heading. That don't help. Take a look at what signals we've got around us. Let's see if we can find some threat 5 non-human. Well, that's a 6. It could be a Basilisk, but yeah. Threat 9. Here we go. 6 is another 9. There we go. 5. Right. And there is as near as damn it half hour to go on the timer, so let's see how we do. As always, I will also treat this stream as a Q&A session, so yeah, you have any questions to put to us, feel free. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got a load of fucking scouts. I'm not interested in going after scouts. See what I mean about how slow it is to recharge the engines. I mean, not proud of the fact that I've just had to run from a load of scouts, but there you are, that's what happened. Threat 8. I mean, that could be a Hydra. Needless to say, I'm not going after Hydras. Alright, see if we have any better luck at this one. First heavy AX ship was a Type 10, but its shields used to really drop during the lightning attack. Yeah, I remember your Type 10. The big problem with the Type 10 is its weapon convergence. I mean, you could drive a bus through the gaps in its weapon convergence. They're hopeless. So I'm really not a fan of the Type 10. I was going to say, for a minute I thought it was going to be more scouts again. But it is a Cyclops. We'll start scanning him long before he scans us. There we go. Right. Flying into him is not a great idea. Right, so that's one part down. Okay, so I've not boosted away from him, but I am leaving him behind. I'm really leaving him behind a bit too quickly. But I have let him get a bit too close for comfort there. So I'll start going after him once his shields are down to about 50, just as with 4. Okay, that will do. Now he's still going to use his lightning attack when he catches up. Alright, second heart down. Those missiles are coming from the fucking swarm. So that incoming caustic missile I really don't want to be dealing with. So I'm out of range of the swarm. So he's catching up with me a bit more. Mind you, I did deliberately slow down to let him. Oh, that's the fucking swarm again. Right, he's in range, so let's turn around and next heart is out. There we go. So that's the penultimate. This is where he'll use his shutdown field. There we go. Fine. Taking more damage than I would have liked, at 81%, but I have not lost any of my modules yet. Right, so he's out of range. We'll let his shields go down to 50 again. See, that's good enough. goes. So, yeah, that wasn't particularly difficult. I did fuck up a bit towards the end. I had just 2 Pipsy weapons instead of 4. But that was the only reason why I was overheating. There we are, far enough away. But, yeah, I mean, it went okay. I wouldn't have said it was fantastic, but you know, job done. It's 8 million. I don't think I need any of those, and I'm not fussed about getting the heart, except I've also just remembered I've got no cargo space in this thing, so I won't be picking up the Thargoid heart there. Right, let's head back to the station and fix ourselves up, see how much this repair job is. I think 77% hull remaining. I can't really complain too much about that. I mean, it's more than I ever had when I was in the Kestrel. But it did seem to take longer to do that battle than any of my Kestrel runs. I think anyway.
Access granted. Cleared for landing on pad 2-2.
But the one difference that really does stand out between this and the Kestrel, I did not take any module damage of any kind. And that I like. So repair bill 35,561. I'll take that every day of the week.
Greetings, Commander.
Right. So we'll cash in the 8 million. Gets our millions up into the 600 millions. Right, let's have a chat at the chat there. The cavalry has arrived. Quo is online. Yeah, I've no idea where he is though. I think he tends to do either private groups or open. So, I mean, for all I know, he could be in Asterope, but I will not be encountering him in this, well, I doubt it anyway. I'll be encountering him in this stream. So yeah, I certainly think that first attempt went okay, but it is possible that it could just be a one-off. So that's why with each of these ships that I'm going to be testing, I'm going to do 3 runs against Cyclops and see how we do. So, I mean, if I'm successful at all 3, it means I'll make 48 million, which, yeah, is not too shabby. I do think I am going to be rather more successful in this AX ship than my second one, which is, it's a bit of a risky one. I'm sort of taking a bit of a chance. I'll explain more about that one as well when the time comes. Although if you were here to see the intro bit, yeah, you'll you'll already know what ship it is. Right, still nothing in the chat. Well, I certainly don't think I need to make any changes to this thing, so let's head straight back out and see how we do in the second test.
Detachment complete. You are go for departure.
See what we have this time. 4, 7, possible Medusa. 6. Come on, we've got to have a few more 5s. Here we are. I've only got 3 minutes left for this one, so let's not hang about. So we can drop out while we're still nearly 10 megameters away. Well, it looks promising. There it is. This is one of those signal sources where I wish I was, yeah, add some cargo space. Right, scan done. Here we go. Almost flew right into him. Alright, first heart down already. Try and get out of range of their firing. He's coming at me quite a bit faster than the previous one did. So he's absolutely determined to try and get me with his lightning attack. That's why he's not firing any other weapons at the moment. So we'll let it drop down to yeah, low 50s. Right, he's caught up a little bit, or either that or he has just decided, fuck it, he will start firing. There's his lightning attack. It did just catch me. Shields down. Next heart is exposed. In fact, he slowed me right down with his last lightning attack. In fact, now he's running. Okay, he was. I can't see him at all clearly. There he is. That's going to really slow me down a lot. There we go. I thought I'd try and do a bit more damage to him, but didn't really work. So there's his caustic missile that he's fired. I don't think that's going to, there's no danger of that hitting. And he's 5.5 kilometres away. Yeah, caustic missile missed. Thargoid Swarm is doing a lot more damage to me than he is. But he is closing. But also his shields are low enough. Let's go after him again. Lightning attack again. Can't see where I'm firing. There we go. So this will now be his lightning attack. Not lightning attack, he's shut down the field. Yeah, he's not bothering with trying to hit me with a lightning. He's still firing. He's also coming along a lot faster. Alright, let's take him out a little bit sooner than originally planned. Oh, he has, yeah, really slowed me down. He's going to get his shields back up. Oh, that was close. I mean, that was literally about 1/10 of a second before his shields would have stopped that last shot. But there we are. So hull at 77, so very similar to the first attempt. I think we can certainly say that, yeah, the first result was not a fluke, but we will confirm it with one final trial. I'm already pretty certain that this is going to be the ship that I end up using. The second one, yeah, the second one I just don't think is going to quite cut it so much. So, Aerodeon, well, hopefully he's still watching. So I know, obviously, that you put together an Alliance Challenger. And I know that you are having second thoughts about it. And with that being the case, what are you looking at using rather than the Challenger?
Access granted. Please head directly for Bay 07.
So 34,124, so the repair bill is very similar to previously.
Greetings, Commander.
So we shall cash in the second 8 million. Right, let's see where we are. MikkDC has arrived. Been setting up my hotkeys for the AX ship and wondering if it's possible to hotkey the caustic sink launcher, or is it pretty much only available in a fire group? Yeah, unfortunately it is the latter. You have to use it in a fire group. Yeah, it's the only drawback with the caustic sink launcher. Oh, actually, Aerodeon answered it already. Yeah, it is just a fire group. A regular heatsink and the shutdown field hotkeyed. We couldn't find one for caustics. Yeah, and that's why. I had set up a Caspian and was ready to give it a try. I mean, Caspians, you've got a hefty amount of armour on those things. In fact, the Caspian is one of those ships where I would not go shieldless with those. Actually, when I change ship, I'll explain what I mean. Yeah, why some ships are better for going shieldless than others. You'll get a lot of people in YouTube videos who will insist that all AX ships should be shieldless. I don't agree with that at all, and yeah, I'll go into detail as to why when we change to my second AX ship. But certainly of what I've seen so far, there is absolutely nothing that I would change on this at all, other than, well, actually no, even then that's a bit premature. I was going to say other than maybe I don't need the AFM unit, but I mean, this is a ship that I've put together for dealing with Basilisks, and I'm testing it against Cyclops. So, you know, if it was, you know, being put together to take on Basilisks, then Cyclops should be, you know, an absolute breeze. And let's face it, so far they have been. So, does that mean then, Aerodeon, that you are going basically the Jimbo 76 route of using the large heavy ships for AX combat? It was 50-50 on the anti-Xeno Discord as to shields. Nobody gave a reason to back up opinions. Yeah, I mean, that's typical of yeah, social media. It's always, you know, if you do ever get any kind of reason, it's always, oh, I use this because it's cool. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's all the reason I need. You know, fuck's sake. So yeah, it's fucking useless. You know, you need reasoning, and really you need at least to be able to show something to back it up. Actually, fuck it. We'll go into outfitting. I'll explain it now. Okay, so really it boils down to how many utility mounts you've got. Because if you have 4 like here, then really you're just going to use them for all of these. So, you know, because I mean, you can get away with not using a Xeno scanner. I personally wouldn't even consider it, but you can get away with it. Shutdown field neutralizer, I would not take the risk. And I certainly wouldn't take the risk of going without a caustic sink launcher, even though those 2 previous battles I've not needed it. And the heatsink launcher, well, I did have to use it in the first one, so yeah, I would be very reluctant to go without a heatsink launcher. And yeah, I do really. I really do see the benefits of getting these pre-engineered ones, the Sirius heat sinks. Having 5 of those heat sinks really does make a difference. But if you're in a larger ship where you have 6 or even 8 of the utility mounts, so using those 4, but it means you've still got 2 or even 4 more going spare. And I would straight away think, right, I will use shield boosters in those. So you would have hull reinforcement package, or no, instead of the hull reinforcement package here, you'd have class 6 shields. Now whether you go bi-weave or standard, I would absolutely say don't even think about prismatics, not on an AX ship. The recharge rate is far too slow. But you've got your class 6 shield generator here, and you've engineered it to, you know, reinforced and whatever experimental on there. And let's say, for example, that gives you 800 shields. Actually, no. Let's make it so it fits better. That gives you 600 shields. But the hull reinforcement that you get from this engineered package here is 738. So that you've got more hull than you would have shields if you had that shield generator. Now, if you then have the additional utility mount slots, and say they will bump up the shields to, I mean, in some cases, having 4 shield boosters in the utility slots takes your shield strength up to in the region of 2,000. Could even be higher than that, say 2,500. That makes sense because you've got 2,500 in shields as opposed to an extra 738 on the hull. So then having shields there absolutely makes sense, and you're not having to use up additional spaces for hull reinforcement packages or module reinforcement packages with additional Guardian shield reinforcements, because the utility mounts are taking care of it. So yeah, all you need to do is go to, you know, a site like Coriolis or Etsy and see how much how strong your shields are going to be with your chosen shield generator and the various shield boosters in the utility mount, and even if you are going to use shield reinforcement packages in the optional internals. And then you compare it to how strong the hull would be if you just used hull reinforcement packages in those places instead of the shield generator and the shield reinforcements. And obviously, if you're going to get more defense hit points from additional hull than you would from putting shields on there, then forget about the shields. You want to go with the additional hull. Now, if that wasn't complicated enough, it's also still not quite that simple, because Thargoid attacks will all bleed through the shields. They all have the I can't remember what the weapon experimental is, but you know, the one that phasing sequence. That's it. They all have phasing sequence. So even with your shields up, there is still going to be, well, the maximum is 40% that will still go through the shields and attack the hull. Also, the actual shield bubble around your ship makes your ship a bigger target. So, if you know the difference between, you know, let's say you've got 1,600 worth of shields, but if you had gone with the hull, that would give you 1,500. So it is lower, but only by 100. Those other differences may sort of like sway you a bit to go towards the hull or not. But then just to put an argument there in favour of the shields, the obvious thing is the fact that the shields will regenerate over time. Your hull is not going to do that. So it's not really clear cut. But I always go, you know, yeah, check on how much defensive hit points I would get from using the hull, and then comparing that to how many hit points I would have if I put a shield generator there. But generally, if you've only got 4 utility slots, so you're not going to use shield boosters anywhere here, then forget about shields. Go with a shieldless ship, and you know, get all your hull reinforcements and your module reinforcements on there. But if you're going to use a ship like, I can't remember if the Caspian has 6 or 8 utility slots. 6 is, I mean, yeah, 6 is fine. That'll give you 2 shield boosters. That will get you, you know, a shield generator, or yeah, shield level somewhere in the 2000s. If you're using one of the big 3, an Anaconda, Fed Corvette, or Type 10, then there's a good chance that your shields, because you'll be able to fit 4 shield boosters onto those, your shields are going to be somewhere in the region of 3,500, and there's no way I would go shieldless, you know, in either of those 3. So, yeah, a bit long-winded. Hopefully it makes sense to someone. Let's take a look at the chat. I just want a little practice without dying in one shot. That is my goal at the moment. I mean, I'm still absolutely mystified as to how you were destroyed in one shot. In fact, you go on to say even more. The Alliance Challenger was shieldless. It had 4,827 armour. Now that is really good armour. How the hell you were destroyed in a single shot? I mean, I can only assume that the ship that, yeah, the interceptor you went up against must have been a Medusa or something. Hydras never appear at Titan wreckage sites. And I remember you saying you went to a Titan salvage site. So yeah, it certainly wasn't a Hydra, but it must have been a Medusa to finish you off that quickly. And even then, that is staggeringly fast for even for a Medusa. Caspian is 3,800 armor and 3,044 shields. That's higher than the armor and shields that I've got on a Caspian that I put together. Yeah, that don't sound shabby at all. Jim, going by this in your previous vid, shieldless seems to be the way to go in those ships. Renders the lightning attack much less damaging. Yeah, certainly in the small and the medium ships, I think, yeah, shieldless is the way to go. Can the Thargoids cause module damage through the shields? Yes, they can, because, like I was saying, their shots can still bleed through your shields there. So usually it's only like 10% of it gets through, but some of their attacks, 40% of it can get through, which is certainly not going to do you too many favours. And they are relentless when it comes to targeting modules. So yeah, bottom line is the answer to can the Thargoids cause module damage through the shields is yes, they can. Cyberdomi has arrived. 6 utilities on the Caspian. Okay, yeah, so I mean it's good enough. You know, you would definitely want to put shields on a Caspian, I'd say. Type 10 is too big for the shields to protect it adequately. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that. You can get a ludicrous amount of shields on a Type 10, but the problem with it, like I say, is you know the convergence of the weapons is awful. So if you need to be precise, or as precise as you can be when you're using the shard cannons, forget it, not in a Type 10. Does armor hardness come into play versus Thargoids? Oh yeah, that is something you really want to watch out for. That's the reason why I think my second AX ship that I put together is not going to do anything like as well as my Corsair here. The armor hardness is the number one reason why I'm thinking that. So yeah, it definitely does come into play. The shields stroke no shields makes sense the way you explain it. I am just amazed that someone was able to follow it, because I couldn't have made that more long-winded if I tried. If not, I might switch to the more nimble Mandalay, as the modules on the Krite 2 will mostly fit on that ship. Would just have to fit and re-engineer the military grade armour. Well, you may find out just how good the Mandalay actually turns out to be, because yeah, that is the second AX ship that I've put together, and we will be testing after our third and final run in the Corsair. So let's get underway and see how we do. I mean, I'm already thinking I've got no problems defeating the Cyclops here. This is really just a test to just confirm yeah, if it's going to stand up to it alright. We've got a Type 9 here. I hate it when they feel the need to reverse before going through the you can really tell that's a ship that's using the epoxy fucking docking computers. The other thing also to keep in mind is that, yeah, okay, I've been sitting here berating the Type 10, But that is, of course, yeah, it's useless for the way I play the game. If you think that the Type 10 is going to suit the way you play, and you know is going to be an all right choice, then you know, go ahead and do it. You know, don't be put off just because I'm sitting there saying no, there's no way I would use it. You know, it really does not suit the way I play the game at all, but that does not mean that it's not going to suit anybody. There are plenty of players out there who use Type 10s as AX ships, and they do absolutely fine in it. I mean, bearing in mind, I have seen AX combat videos where a player has destroyed a Cyclops while they were in a hauler. So, you know, whatever ship you think is going to suit your playing style, use it. Oh, we came in pretty fucking fast there. But here it is. So, we'll begin our scan. Away we go. That's the first heart down. Not a bad start. I'll slow down a little bit. I don't want to get too far ahead of him. He's catching up with me at quite a rate though. But he's not going to fire his weapons. He's too busy looking to come after me with his lightning attack. In fact, I think I'm going to end up in range a lot sooner than planned. Let's try and get past him. Right, well, the shield's down to 55, so let's, and he's starting firing. So shields are offline. I've been really slowed down. Anyway, that's the second part. Now those missiles that have just hit me, those are the weapons that, yeah, 40% of the damage goes through the shields. All the other shots, it's only 10%. So I've got this caustic missile coming after me. It is fairly slow, yeah, he's completely... that's the Thargon's missiles. Yeah, again. And did not do me too many favours. Alright, let's... third. This is where he will use his shutdown pulse. There we go. He is catching up. He's not bothering with his lightning attack at the moment. And there he is. don't fucking miss. There we go. And again, lower end of high 70s on the armour. So it looks like it is pretty consistent with this thing, especially with the way I play. It does kind of go without saying that I don't really recommend AX combat the way I do it. You don't really want to be constantly ignoring the Thargon swarm, because you get into that habit, and I freely admit I am well into that habit. So when it comes to dealing with Basilisks and the like, you are going to have a much more difficult time. There's nothing here that I don't already have. And Thargoid Heart. As always, I can't collect that anyway. So that's the Corsair. I very much suspect that this is going to be the ship that is chosen. I think I forgot to mention at the start of the stream that the ship that does best in out of these two is going to be the ship that I will be using in the forthcoming stream, where there will be a wing of 3 of us. So you'll have me, and you'll have a certain Aerodeon and a certain MikkDC. We will be hunting Cyclops, but we will be doing it in a very specific way, which means that any Cyclops we encounter is not going to stand a hope in hell of surviving.
Access granted. Clear to land at docking bay 07. This is flight control. Reduce speed to 100.
So repair bill 36,596.
Ship is on the ground. Ground crew dispatched.
Lower, that was the least amount of ammo that I'd used of any of the 3 runs, but it's not like I had any danger of running out of ammo, so that's fine. That's sorted out. And let's cash in our next 8 million. So I've already made 24 million subtract whatever my ship launch fighter pilot takes, which is, it's either 9 or 10%. Right, where are we? We're in the chat here. Just had a look on EDC, and the Mandalay actually has the same armour hardness as the Krite 2, but has more based armour. Or more base armour, I should say. I didn't realise that the Krite 2 only had armour hardness of 55. That is quite surprising. But that does give me reason to be a little bit more optimistic about my Mandalay then. Jim, Corvette for me was head and shoulders better than the Type 10, despite the Type 10 being better on paper. I agree the Corvette is head and shoulders better than the Type 10, but when it comes to AX combat, I think the Anaconda is head and shoulders above the Corvette. So Yeah, that's I bet that guy who did it in the hauler used that cold orbit technique. Yeah, he did right from the start, which sounds like something I would struggle with. I certainly struggle with it because I'm using mouse and keys. If I was using a HOTAS, I think it would be, well, it's certainly a lot easier to do that. So, yeah, it's yeah, something I am really not that great at doing. I prefer nimble hit and run tactics. Yeah, I tend to. I mean, admittedly, when you're in, you know, a large, heavy AX ship, then nimble is probably not the right word. But of the large, of the large ships which are sort of AX capable, the Caspian is by a pretty healthy margin the fastest and the most manoeuvrable, which is one of the reasons why I was looking into it, and I suspect it probably played a bit of a reason as to why Aerodeon has started putting one together himself. Basilisk swarms are not to be ignored. No, not at all. I mean, for a start, they are twice the size of a Cyclops swarm. So you've got 64 of the Thargons to deal with instead of 32. Yeah, it's... yeah. They also fire more projectiles. So... and the loser ship gets scrapped. No. I'll keep both ships, but yeah, as well as one of them appearing in that particular stream, I'll also be keeping one small, one medium, and one large AX ship on my fleet carrier. So the ship that wins will be kept on the carrier, because there are going to be occasions where I think I fancy heading down to the California Nebula, because there are AX conflict zones out there, and giving them a run. So my best small, medium and large AX ships will be on me all the time. The loser ship will just be stored here in Asterope along with all my other AX ships. So yeah, it won't mean that you know, that the ship that loses isn't going to be heading for the junk pile. So okay, let's switch then to the second ship, which I've already revealed is the Mandalay. So this is it here. We'll have a proper look at the loadout. Yeah, the ship is called TBA because I still can't think up a name for it. So this is in my more usual AX garb, green paint job and green detailing. You may have noticed that with the Corsair everything was purple. So right, head into the outfitting and we'll show you what this one is all about. So in the weapons I have 2 class 2 pre-engineered Guardian Shark cannons, but that surprises you, and 2 pre-engineered Guardian plasma chargers. Now once I've decided on which of these ships is better, I'm also going to make a slight change to the weapons loadout. Whichever ship I end up using, that ship is going to have all 4 of the pre-engineered shard cannons, and the one that isn't chosen is going to have all 4 of the plasma chargers. That is not because I don't think the plasma chargers are any good. I think they are great weapons, but for that particular stream, all 3 of us are going to be using AX ships that are armed with 4 pre-engineered Guardian shard cannons. So you're probably getting a pretty good idea now as to why I was saying that any Cyclops that we encounter haven't got a hope in hell of coming out of it alive. So yeah, so there will be a very slight change in the weapons loads out of those, of these two AX ships. So I also have two Class 1 beam lasers, which have long range, the grade 5, and thermal vent. Now, this ship, actually, as well as what I was saying about, the shard cannons all going on one particular ship, this ship will also be undergoing another slight change. I have some stored modules here at Asterope. I have a Class 1 Guardian plasma charger and a Class 2, the only remote release flak launcher. So should I take this ship out to go after Basilisks, this Class 2 weapon here is going to have to be changed for a flak launcher, which means one of these beam lasers will be taken off and the Class 1 plasma charger will be put in its place. So yeah, it's it makes sense. Well, it makes sense to me anyway. Utility mounts, no big surprises here. Heatsink launcher, this has been engineered with the ammo capacity. It's not one of the serious pre-engineered ones, so I only have 4 heatsinks on this, but that should still be fine. Enhanced Xeno scanner, caustic sink launcher, which ammo capacity engineering, so it has 8 caustic sinks. And then the shutdown field neutralizer. Core internals. It's all exactly what you expect. So we have military grade composite, which is grade 5 heavy duty with deep plating. Power plant, I had to overcharge it with all those AX weapons on there. There was no way I was able to armour it, so I went overcharged, grade 5, but I did put the double braced on there, so hopefully that will help out a bit. Thrusters, dirty drive tuning, drag drives, what a shock. Almost as much of a shock as this. Increased FSD range, grade 5, mass manager. The life support is reinforced to grade 4. Power distributor, this is a real Achilles heel for this ship. It's only got a class 5 power distributor, so I've got to go weapon focused on this thing. And superconduits experimental. Sensors, in order to, actually, I'm not sure why I put 5Ds on there. And then I put long range grade 3, so it's got the range of a 5A, but it has less mass than a 5A. So it is a bit of a compromise, but I mean it works. So finally, then the optional internals. So we have 2 class 5 hull reinforcements. 2 class 4 hull reinforcements, 1 class 3. They are all shock horror, heavy duty, the grade 5 with deep plating. So I have my AFM unit. I think this is going to be needed more on this ship than it was on the Corsair. And then the module defense, I mean, class 2 and 3 class 1s. So because of the sheer amount of module reinforcement I've got protection up to 97%, but 3 of them are class 1 and 1 is a class 2, so the integrity is not great. I don't think these are going to last anywhere near as long as the module reinforcements did on the Corsair. So that is the loadout, and the net result of all that is that, yeah, armour health then is 4,362 and armour rating, yeah, 55. So, well, I didn't realise it was the same armour rating as the Crite Mark II. It is also the same armour rating as the Kestrel. And, okay, I did fine in the Kestrel, but the Kestrel is a much smaller target. It's also faster and more manoeuvrable. Although that is certainly not saying that the Mandalay is not fast or manoeuvrable. The Mandalay can shift. So I have never used a Mandalay for AX combat, so this is really a sort of like, you know, jump in at the deep end for me. I have no idea how this is going to go. Right, let's have a look at chat here. Right, MikkDC has dashed off for a bit. Slightly overpowered, the Kestrel. To say the Kestrel is slightly overpowered is a bit like saying Pochine is slightly alcoholic. Yeah, it's immensely overpowered. But it means that, you know, I mean, it is a great combat ship. It's not completely flawless. Because the Kestrel makes such a great combat ship, I thought it would also be a really good drop ship to take me down to, you know, planet services for, you know, checking out things like impact sites, crash sites and all that. In fact, it's utterly hopeless as a drop ship. It's a dreadful choice. So yeah, stick with your Cobra Mark 5s or whatever you're using. Cobra Mark 5s what I use, but yeah, stick with those. Whatever you do, don't think about the Kestrel as a dropship. The number one reason is well, I can demonstrate actually right here. Let's disembark. Right, the number one reason for it is that if you're in a Kestrel and you are here at the bottom of the ramp, having just appeared at the bottom, you are not protected by the shields. The shields are all above you up here. So if you appear here and there are, for example, 2 enemy sharpshooters nearby, then by the time the game is actually loaded, you're dead because you've been shot by both sharpshooters. And yep, that is what happened to me. So the only way you can use the defences of the ship, if you know, got your Kestrel as a drop ship, is to actually go up the ramp and fire from here. But of course, doing that means, yeah, you basically you have to fire dead ahead. It's not ideal, to put it mildly. Okay, after that brief demonstration, right? Let's see what happens with this thing. I really do have no idea what to expect, but I'm not massively optimistic. I think this is going to be a bit of a struggle.
Detachment complete. Moderate speed on exit.
Right, here we go. Alright, let's see what we got. 9. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to try it there. 7. 5. There we go. And plenty of time to get there as well. Right, what have we got? Yep, we have over here. Right, scan is complete. Ah. There we go. Right. First heart down. Oh, right. We're yeah, I'm gonna have to boost away from him. Still catching up even when I had the full throttle. Right, shields are low enough. Right, shields are down. Next part is exposed. Right, that's the next heart down. I have already done better than I was expecting to do in this thing. What was I doing there? That was mad. Yeah, the Thargoid swarm is still firing at us. Right, now it's starting to catch up. Right, my shields are down in the 50s. Let's so one module enforcement down. That's the next heart down. Oh dear, my engines were stalled. Fine. Oh, okay. No, he's not as far away from me as I thought he was. He is catching relatively slowly, but he is catching. Right, let's go and take him on. shields are down. There he goes. That went a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more of a struggle than that. And my armour at 76% again. But that was great. That really was a great AX combat ship. Now it could be, it could be a one-off, so I've got to repeat this a couple more times. But that went really well. Let's get ourselves fixed up and cash in the next 8 million. Check the chat once we are back in the station. So repair bill 29,095. So it's the cheapest repair bill yet. Not that the others were particularly high. I've so far not had a repair bill that's even gone up as high as 40,000. So, cash in that one. Right, let's see the chat here. Let's have a look. You think poutine is alcoholic? The Greek moonshine raki is poutine plus hallucinations. Ah, nice. So it's absinthe, but yeah, with that homebrew touch to it, eh? Yeah, I think I'll leave that one. Genuinely surprised by how well that went. Yeah, you and me both. I was not expecting it to go that well. I thought I was going to really struggle, and it was effortless. It really was. Well. They're all set. Right, Carl, let's give this the second go. Cobra 5 up ahead. None of those fuckers gave us any encoded materials. But what made that run more enjoyable for me is that this ship was more manoeuvrable. It was a lot more manoeuvrable than a Corsair. Right, see what we have. There's a 5. Alright, 5 minutes remaining. If this run goes as well as the previous one, this is the one that will convince me that yeah, if you want a decent medium AX ship, the Mandalay looks like the way to go. I mean, this thing is so much more than just a great exploration ship. Done. First heart down. Didn't even move. Right, here it comes. Quite a rate. I don't want it catching up with me quite so quickly. I want its shields to get down to at least into the 50s. Alright, okay, that'll do. Shields are off. That part is exposed. Took longer to hit. Now I can't see. There we are. There we go. Nothing I can do to avoid that. So one of the module reinforcements has been rendered useless. So here comes the caustic missile. I've definitely got to come out here in a ship that can take some cargo. Some of this salvage is well worth taking. Right, the caustic missile is caustic missile had finished, but these fuckers are coming in. There we go. Right, first shot at that heart and it was down. Oh, he's coming after us at a right old rate. Right, so I'm starting to take damage to he's down. There we go. Yeah, that one was a bit more difficult because I lost 2 of my Guardian reinforcements, and I was taking damage to, I think there was one, actually it's 3 that were taken out, and the only one that was left was one of the class 1s, so yeah, that was not great. But I think it said that the caustic sink launcher had malfunctioned, but it's at 68. That's not terrible. I mean, yeah, the shutdown field neutralizer is worse than that, 56. So I think that is the worst. So let me just check the. So power plant was at 90, because Thargoids, when they target your modules, which they always do, power plant is something they always target. So is the cockpit canopy, 88, that's okay, and then your weapons. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure that they are protected, yeah, pretty well. But yeah, all things considered, that still went well. And the fact that a Cyclops was able to go through all of my module reinforcements, that wasn't so great. That suggests to me that a Basilisk would have absolutely no problem doing that. And once again, hull down to 75%. I now genuinely have no clue which one of these to choose as the one that's done best.
Permission authorized. Please head directly for Bay 03.
I think the Corsair might shade it because I've not lost any module reinforcement on the Corsair, whereas on this it's done brilliantly well. But yeah, I don't. losing the module reinforcement. I mean, look at that, it's not even 20,000 repaired there. 19,393.
You are most welcome, Commander.
But yeah, the Corsair clearly has the is able to take more in a way of you know, dealing with the damage from or modular damage there. Right, where are we? Mandalay MikkDC has returned. Mandalay seems to be doing okay armor-wise. It's done fantastically well. Way better than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be a big surprise, or yeah, a big struggle, I should say. The only thing that gives me any kind of doubts, I mean certainly no doubts against Cyclops, is the module reinforcement. I mean it's not that big a surprise, you know. I've got 4 of them fitted, but 3 of them are class 1s, so you know, yeah, they're not going to be the greatest. Yeah, the Mandalay is more impressive than we all thought. Yeah, the difference is module reinforcements, which will also be a problem against Basilisks. It will be horrendous against Basilisks. So I only that second run I only had 1 module reinforcement that was still operational, and that was a class 1. So against the Basilisk, it's probably going to sort out all of my module reinforcements before I've taken out certainly the second half, may even be before I've even taken out the first. So it is going to be, yeah, quite a bit tougher against against one of those. But we still need to do the third run in this just to confirm our findings. But I think if this run goes fine, you know, as fine as the 2 previous ones, then I think we can certainly say that if you want a fast, agile ship that is easily able to take on a Cyclops, here you are. You know, this has been fantastic. I even in my most wildly optimistic sort of like ideas after putting this thing together, I did not think it was going to breeze through it like it has done. But you never know, this might be the one where I struggle. So let's get back underway and begin the third test of the Mandalay.
Disengage from landing pad. Exit the station quickly and safely.
Right. Oop. Alright, let's see what we've got. No, I don't want a 7. There we go. About 4.5 minutes. Should get there, no problem. Because one thing that I've not tested either of these ships on is scouts. And, well, I already know the Mandalay will be far better against scouts than the Corsair will, because Corsair just doesn't have the manoeuvrability. Oh, looks promising. Yep, there he is. Yeah, right on top of me. Scan done. Over 3 kilometres away from him, so we're out of range of his weapons, but not the Thargon swarm. And he's catching up, and he's catching up a bit lively. But he's not firing because he's desperately trying to use his lightning attack. So we'll let his armor, his shields go down to 50s, mid to low 50s. There we go, right. He shut down the thrusters. So what was I saying about one where I may struggle? This could be it. I can't see a fucking thing. Alright, there it goes. There's a caustic missile on its way. We're leaving him for fucking dead. The caustic missile is done. Here he comes. Okay. Shut down one of my plasma charges. Alright, there's one module reinforcement gone. There's another. So 3 hearts down. This will be the shutdown pulse. This one has been more difficult than the previous. I'm already at 72% hull and I've not taken out the last heart yet. So that's all of my reinforcements done. He's got his back to him. I can't see very well. And there he goes. We've not yet seen an actual explosion yet, so there we go. So that was the most long-winded of the lot, down to 61, so that's the sort of levels that my Kestrel was taken down to. Nevertheless, even though that was, yeah, the most difficult of the three in this ship, you know, I still got through with 61% of the hull. It didn't even take my hull down to half strength. If we look at the modules, yeah, all 4 module reinforcements out. So how badly damaged was everything else? So the shutdown field neutralizer did malfunction. It's at 70%, it's not bad. Power plant still at 90, that's fine. Cockpit canopy at 91, that's fine. Oh yeah, you can see who's really targeting the weapons. 50 on the plasma charger, 69% there, 59 there, 60 there. So yeah, it was really going after the weapons and that, as they always do. So the module protection certainly did their thing. But I'm not sure that this will stand up to a Basilisk. They're just going to be far too strong. But as I said, I'm going to be taking 1 small, 1 medium and 1 large AX ship on the carrier. I'm almost certainly going to take this as my medium. Yeah, I could just use the large against Basilisks and that. I mean, every time I've taken out a Basilisk in the past, I've always been in, you know, a large AX ship. I've never been able to do it in a medium. At least I certainly don't remember ever doing it in a medium.
Request approved. Clear to land at docking bay 18.
Yeah, certainly will not be going after Medusas or Hydras in anything other than a large ship. So yeah, largest repair bill of the stream, but it's still 44,132. That's still absolutely fine. Cash in again. There we go. So I've made 39 million in this stream. That's not bad going. It does really show though how much the ship launch fighter pilots take. It should have been 48 million. So he's had 10 million off me. Right, let's have a look at chat here. Like a certain sport, it always comes down to the third test. There is quite a difference between, yes, taking on Cyclops and I know, taking on the likes of Shane Warne and company. Peter has arrived. This is the last run of the second ship. Probably yes. I think it would make Interceptors combat more interesting if their defence, e.g. lightning attack and shutdown force generator, less scripted. Yeah, I suppose it would do, but you know, it's not. I've got no complaints anyway. That you know, it's very predictable. I'm all right with that for now. Wiser has arrived. Still not going to fly flight assist off. I'm hopeless with flight assist off because the problem is I'm using keyboard and mouse, and this mouse I've got is very light. I'm not the biggest fan of it. So I mean, yeah, I'm all over the place with flight assist on. With flight assist off, I can't hold myself, you know, even in facing one direction. I'm constantly sort of like, you know, going up or down all the time. It drives me around a bend. So as it is, I've been able to take out Medusas and Hydras without using flight assist off. So you know, it's done all right for me. There's still no word on what gameplay revamp FDev is working on. What do you think it is? If FDev had any sense, they'd fix the horrible on-foot engineering and very likely bugger it up on launch day. Well, yeah, there's no doubt about that. What do I think their gameplay revamp is that they're working on? I mean, bearing in mind how cynical I am, I'm going to stick my neck out and say it's trying to fix the game so it actually works. But that's being extremely optimistic. I've no idea actually, because the number of things that have not been altered at some point during during this game's run is actually quite low. So the only thing I can think of is doing the engineering for the suits and hand weapons, because it is a dreadful system. There's no doubt about that. There is no excuse for the fact that, I mean, let's say you're playing it for the first time and you're doing your first lot of engineering on a suit or a hand weapon, and you've put an engineering option on there that you've got no idea what it will do or how good it is at doing what it claims to do. You try it out and it's like, oh, that's crap. Well, now I've got to start all over again because I don't like this one engineering option here. I mean, it's a dreadful system. I really hope they add the ability to replace suit/weapon mods, even if it means the mod already in a slot is destroyed as a result. I mean, yeah, I'd have no problem with that being the case, and I'm sure no one else would either, because it means you've only wasted, like, I think it's usually only 3 or 4 engineering materials, as opposed to, you know, the whole slew of engineering materials you're going to be wasting because you've got to build, you know, a completely new weapon or suit again from scratch. What gameplay mechanic would you like to see implemented for on-foot gameplay instead of look at the thing and press button? Mine would be manual hacking. Mine is something along those lines. I would like it if you were able to get into a settlement's security system and override their turret controls and set it to target the you know, whoever it is in there already, you know. Which would be a degree of manual hacking, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see them bring back the mini game that was used in exobiology when that first got put in. I'm pleased to see you're getting no aggravation from the power security ships here. No, not at all. They not touched me. I mean, it might help that, yeah, I am allied with all three factions that operate in this station. I've no idea, but yeah, they've never even scanned me, not once. So yeah, it's been fine here. Do you think FDev should back off on making ships and instead focus on more weapons, suits and tools for Odyssey? They can still sell skins for them. I mean, I certainly want more weapons and that for Odyssey. I'm not entirely sure what additional suits they could add. They really covered the three main ones. They did it so efficiently that it rather sort of killed off the prospect or the need for any others. Same with tools. I'm not really sure what additional tools they could add. But yeah, I'd certainly like to see more Odyssey hand weapons, but I wouldn't want to see it at the expense of you know, more new ships and that. I really don't see a reason as to why they couldn't do both. You know, they're constantly banging on about how many developers they have working for them. Well, let's see them actually, you know, do something instead of just working on one thing at a time. Although that's what they did with the last update, and look how well that went. So yeah, maybe I should watch what I'm actually asking for. What would you think that upgrades on foot weapons should degrade, keeping the cycle of finding materials more meaningful instead of having to flog them off at a fence? No, I wouldn't like that at all. No, I don't like the idea of degrading upgrades. No, I'd rather just continue getting the materials and flogging them rather than having to, yeah, having to sort out an upgrade. It's not going to be much of an upgrade if it just keeps degrading all the time. So yeah, I wouldn't be a big fan of that. Be good to be able to loot suits and weapons from NPCs after you kill them, but that will never happen. No, it won't ever happen because, of course, because of the rating that the game has, you're not actually killing them supposedly. So yeah, it's not actually, you know, you're not actually looting bodies. What I would like to see is them actually say, look, let's just get ourselves an 18 rating and make it a damn sight better visually. You know, let's go out there and actually, you know, shoot these fuckers. And if they're crap, just sell them like other commodities. Well, I think if they were ever going to implement anything like that, it would just be taking the yeah, I think it would be more a case of just taking the materials that you can already get from. You'd only probably get like about 2 or 3 different materials, and it would never be anything great. It would just be more circuit breakers and memory. What is it? Those memory chip things. Yeah, that's all you'd ever find. I want to get into places like Dab's Hope and the other abandoned settlements on foot. I mean, not just the abandoned ones, but all the things like the hubs and that, including ones that you know, have been built in colonised systems. I mean, I've built quite a few hubs in my system. And I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to get into the buildings, especially as some of them are supposed to be like tourist hubs. Well, why would you not be able to enter a tourist hub? And then there are like commercial hubs. Well, surely you should be able to go into a commercial hub. You know, they want you to be buying and selling stuff there. So, you know, it's that would be yeah. I mean, it would certainly make sense. It would be a decent addition. Like into the building, yeah, exactly. Going into them just like you can with the settlements. Limbs coming off and heads exploding. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we want more of that in the game. Oh, that would be fantastic. That would be my suggestion. Imagine being able to board generation ships. So this is another thing, especially with, actually you go on to say in the next line here, some of them have true horror stories attached. Yeah, being able to get onto those ships there and seeing some of this stuff for yourself. You know, those ones where there's some like really ultra ferocious alien. I mean, no prizes for guessing where they got the idea from. So you can actually get on board this thing, disembark, and make your way around there, almost certainly in near total darkness, and suddenly this ultra ferocious bloody creature jumps out and starts trying to tear you limb from limb. But you know, you'd end up getting, you know, a huge credit bonus if you're able to take the thing out, and you know, even if it's just a mission that you have to take from one of the mission boards somewhere. You know, yeah, it'd be a great addition, that. Others just mystery and death. I mean, there are certainly plenty of mystery and death on the generation ships in the game. You know, you never go to a generation ship, download the logs and read everything here is absolutely fine, we love this place. No, that never happens. So you can scan a dead NPC and claim a bounty even though he's not dead, but you can't steal his weapons or ammo. Yeah, the thing is, I mean, it's like when you're killed while on foot, it actually says you've lost consciousness. So, yeah, they're not actually dead. So, yeah, I think that's how they get around it. It'd be a bit stupid, but, well, it is a bit stupid, but, you know, it's frontier developments we're talking about here. Yes, and I'd love to see the carnage inside Dab's Hope instead of just the narrative from the comms links. Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, you can use your imagination and plug the gaps, you know, but yeah, I mean, we've certainly got the ability to render this sort of stuff on screen, even in the crappy Cobra engine. So I don't see why. Well, it's frontier developments. Okay, yeah, I can see why they haven't bothered, because they never bothered doing anything like that. But, you know, if it was developers who actually knew what they were doing, there'd be no reason not to include stuff like that. Wonder if something like that might show up in Operations, the generation ship horror stories. I mean, we can only hope, but certainly Operations has, you know, it's sort of opened that door. The possibility of something like that happening is certainly there. Whether or not they actually do it, I don't know. Speaking of Operations, apparently it is now working a hell of a lot better than it ever has been. I've not yet tried it since then, but yeah, I am pretty sure that I'm not going to be great at doing that solo. So if anyone, you know, sees me in game while they're in game and they fancy a bash at Operations, just drop me a line in the game and yeah, we'll sort it out. I'd quite fancy getting hold of some Merc coins, because some of those engineering options look quite promising. So yeah, I would certainly fancy doing some of that. the game is 13 plus rated. It's not like Death isn't part of that rating. Yeah, I know. This isn't Planet Coaster. Jurassic World Evolution has dinosaurs mauling or eating other visitors. Yeah, I know. It's yeah. If you can find any kind of logic behind you know, any of that business, then yeah, you certainly got me beaten. What was that base that Caleb Wycherley was part that was experimenting on Thargoids? Yeah, I know I found it because during the audio logs you could actually hear the Thargoid sort of like shrieking and that in the background. So yeah, I exactly, you know, getting the chance to go in there and see, even if it's just like discarded Thargoid limbs, let alone the entire corpses, just give us some sort of idea that the Thargoids are more than just their ships. I was going to ask if you intend to live stream any operations missions. I certainly would, but you know, if you're in game and you fancy doing you know, operations, but you think, oh no, I don't really want to have it, you know, turned into a video or a live stream, don't worry about that. You know, just because I'm going to be doing or want to do operations doesn't mean I would instantly turn it into a video or a live stream. So if that's what makes you think, no, I don't fancy doing operations with him, then yeah, don't worry about that. If I'm going to do a video or a stream on operations, I will announce it beforehand. I won't just, you know, like drop it right on, you know, out of nowhere. Unreal Engine isn't exactly covering itself in glory at the moment. To be brutally honest, I've not really paid a lot of attention to Unreal Engine for quite some time. So I'm way out of the yeah, way out of the loop where it comes to that thing. Operations is working better now, probably because barely anyone is playing it. Very little load on the servers. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised if that is the reason. I mean, it surely can't end up being as bad as CQC has ended up. I sincerely doubt it anyway. I mean, you got more reason for doing operations. There's a lot more, you know, that will have an impact on the main game than CQC does. You know, with CQC, apart from getting the permit to that system that I can't remember the name of, CD something or other, I just do not see any reason for doing CQC. The other thing is, CQC does have the potential of being pretty good. All they have to do is do actually what they've done with operations, and give you the option to choose who you play CQC with. But because they didn't bother doing that, because it was too much bloody effort, no one wants to know, and because no one's playing it, Frontier Developments are using that as the excuse for not doing anything to improve it. They just completely ignore the fact that, well, if you were to improve it, more people would then start playing it. No, that kind of thinking just never enters their heads. Was that the one which was part of the Halloween event? Which one were we talking about? The Caleb Wycherley one? No, I don't think that was a Halloween event. No, that was part of the there were several sort of Thargoid related bases. They were all connected with that old, I can't remember the name of it now, the old organisation, the one that came up with the mycoid virus. And yeah, it was all like backstory as to how the mycoid virus came about. The Halo remake, which runs on UE5, is having its glory moment at the moment right now. Halo, I couldn't care less about Halo if I tried. INRA, that's it. Yes. Yeah, I think you mean an INRA settlement. Stack. Stack is the settlement that's in the same system as the Jameson Cobra, isn't it? Have you bought any of those new suit cosmetics? I remember they came in packs. Now they're being sold individually for 5-figure arcs. You're getting greedy, FDev. Well, I mean, they've been getting that way for a long old while. I haven't bought any suit cosmetics for quite a while. Yeah, I think the last one I got was the... Actually, I think I can show you. It's... I can't remember what it's called, but when it eventually appears. Yeah, sometime today would be nice. There you go. Yeah, that one. That was the last one that that I got. Right. Next. Halo renders at 800p at the moment and upscales. That's abysmal. I think upscaling crappy resolutions is going to be the way that a lot of the developers go now. I mean, I hope not, but I have a feeling it will. I would play more operations if the damn Kestrels and Cobra Mark 5s would stop kicking my ass. One is enough, but pairs, no thanks. Yeah, I found one of my attempts, there was at least 3 Kestrels, and of course they were all elite, so I mean they're already difficult enough to get hits on, but because they're elite, their shields and their armour was super strong, and yeah, it was a bit of a pain in the arse. 800p console pedestals aren't worth my time. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I've said it on numerous occasions, but when it comes to consoles, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, the Atari 2600 is, yeah, the only console worth using. And Skeletor. Oh, is that in reference to my, yeah, my suit there? Yeah. I can't remember what it was called now, but it's been out for probably at least 2 years. It might even be getting on for 3, but it's been a while. So anyway, I think that will do then for the stream. I'm amazed at how well the Mandalay did. I do think that trying to go up against Basilisks in it is going to be a step too far, but if you want something that has decent agility and is able to more than hold its own against you know, certainly a Cyclops. So say, for example, I mean, we've got Aerodeon and MikkDC here. I'm sure they won't mind me pointing out. Neither of them have taken out any interceptors yet. It is only a matter of time. They are going to be able to do it. The pair of them, everything that I've seen in, like, you know, the few vids and that they've done, and if you look in their Inara stats and all that, you can clearly see that the two of them are definitely going to be able to take on Cyclops, no problem. But when you're just starting out, this would make a great ship for, you know, just starting to get into AX combat. That would be a great one. So yeah, that has done really well. Forza engine seems to be the only engine worth a look at the moment. Fable is supposed to use it. I no idea about that. Nor have I, if you take Cassina's word as gospel. Oh, you had one extra pip because I was sitting there in the in the passenger seat or wherever it was, and even then I kept deliberately putting it in the most useless place. So yeah, bollocks to what he says. I mean, admittedly, you have only done it the once, but then I don't think you've actually tried since doing it then. So, you know, for all anyone knows, you might be able to do it in your sleep, but you've got to actually try it to find out. But even then, I mean, if you still consider yourself a beginner when it comes to AX combat, then I think the Mandalay is a fantastic choice. It's got the manoeuvrability, it's got good speed, it can take the punishment despite, you know, the module reinforcements being very sort of you know, very low and whatever. But yeah, it all went pretty well. Did you pick up a troll at the time or something? Well, I'll let Jim explain that one, but it was a comment that was made after it. You mean his ship-launched fighter pilot? No, I don't think Jim has ever used ship-launched fighters against AX. Yeah, in any kind of AX combat. Using this video as a baseline, I'd go with the Corsair. Well, the Corsair can take the punishment a bit harder, but it doesn't have the manoeuvrability. I mean, it's not like I was struggling against you know, the Cyclops and that. And I certainly think that the Corsair will more than hold its own against a Basilisk. And I haven't got to change the loadout at all. I've already got the thing fully kitted out to go after Basilisks. So yeah, that in that regard, yeah, you'd probably have to go with the Corsair. But if you are just starting out, so you want the manoeuvrability and you want the speed, you know, you don't want some slow lumbering thing. Not that the Corsair is slow or lumbering, but it just doesn't have the manoeuvrability of a Mandalay. I think the Mandalay would be the great one that you know, for just starting in you know, Interceptor AX combat. I did a live stream of, this is Jim explaining the Cassina thing. I did a live stream of AX combat and Chris was a passenger of my newly built Corvette. I soloed my first Cyclops and then a commenter, Cassina, said I cheated because of the extra pip. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Well, I mean, the video's still there on your channel, so people can check it, you know, and see for themselves. But if it hadn't been for me being there, you would have ran long before you took the thing out, and I had to keep sitting there convincing you not to run. Yeah, Aerodeon sums it up perfectly there. I see you didn't play his way, so it didn't count. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's another one of those. So anyway, that yeah, that will do for this stream then. I don't know when the next one will be, but I do have a feeling that the next stream is likely to be me doing operations, because as much as I really want to do the stream with MikkDC and Aerodeon against the Cyclops, there's no getting away from it at the moment. Aerodeon is having some issues with the game, and Frontier Developments are being their usual helpful self, i.e. not remotely. So we've got no idea when we are going to be able to do that. So it may well be that yeah, a video or a stream on operations will be my next one. But it will certainly be either that or the stream with the three of us hunting after hunting Cyclops and absolutely slaughtering them. So that is what will be coming up. But for now, I didn't want to hijack your chat by whinging about that. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I no problem. You know, in the chat in my videos, you can talk about whatever the fuck you like. You know, I just don't give a monkeys. I mean, it is unbearably annoying, especially of all the times it had to happen. It had to, be just as we were, planning this particular stream. But I mean, yeah, Frontier Developments get involved. You know, something's going to go tits up. But there we go. That is definitely it from me. So until the next stream, whenever that is, go away.